If you like cars, stick around. Good mortgage morning to you. You're watching the Economic Market Weather Report. My name's Jason Granaman, and I'm your loan slayer for the day. Let's do it. It is a bit warm out on the Dow. Now, I've got hot and humid here because, well, the last couple of days over on the equities side, it's been pretty hot and humid. The great comeback this week. Today's only Wednesday, and the Dow is up since Friday, or really Monday and Tuesday. 1,100 point gain. Well, that's quite a comeback. That is having an effect on the Treasuries market. Our 10-year Treasury is crept back up 1.49 as of a few minutes ago. We'll see where it goes. Remember when I said it was down at that 1.38 level? I didn't think it was going to stay there. Well, the real question was it going to go up? Was it going to go down? Well, thanks to Omicron and Pfizer, according to CNBC, Pfizer said that the 3 shots is neutralizing the Omicron virus. So apparently, according to Pfizer and according to CNBC, who's reporting on it, they've come out and said the 3 shots neutralizes it. And the stock market is rallying back based on that news alone. They are breeding confidence back into the equities, which is taking confidence back out of the Treasuries market. So we had a pocket of great rates last week, even as of Monday. And with that money going back into the equities market, you're seeing the mortgage rates creep back up. So remember, our previous video, when you have a gift, you take it. Now, honorable mention with crypto. Bitcoin has been up and down recently. Well, in 24 hours time, it hit 52,000 and it dropped to 48. That's almost a $4,000 swing. Wasn't quite 48 and 24, but almost. So round about $4,000 in swing. I would call it a bit radical. Sitting at 50,000 as we speak at this moment anyway. Ethereum also following a similar pattern. This moment it's sitting at about 4,400. They've both come back since Friday, a few days ago, and they've come back quite a bit. They had that, remember that pull down? Watch my last video. You'll see where that pull down was. I don't have an explanation still as to what caused that. But if you go and look at cryptocurrencies across the board, majority of them on Friday all had this pull down on their chart at the same exact time. I don't know what causes it, but is the market full of manipulation? You be the judge and let me know in the comments. What do you think? Will the Pfizer 3-shot, the booster, will that neutralize the Omicron virus? Because it's certainly not neutralizing the stock market. The stock market is continuing to rise. Today may be a little flat as some profit takers and some folks analyze just how much more they can get out of investing in the market. Don't forget about cryptocurrency. There's quite a bit of money over there. And as that continues to rise, we'll probably see a trend of money moving in that direction as well. And the bonds going into the holidays, if we see a drop, a gift when rates get really good, because they are good now, but if rates get really good, remember, that might be a window of opportunity to take advantage of because we are still trending up. So anytime something comes down in a market that's trending up, it typically doesn't sit there very long. Those are those pockets of opportunity that sometimes Wall Street gives us a window and we can strike on that. Now, with that mortgage rate drop, we saw a surge of refinance applications in the market. It was up 9%. That's quite significant. However, with this recent comeback from the equity side, the Dow surging and NASDAQ and all them, we're going to see that slow down. People took an opportunity to grab that pocket of good rates, started their refinance process. Remember, if you're getting a gift in the equities or the bonds, take the gift and execute if it makes sense for you. Of course, if it makes sense for you. However, the purchase side of the housing market, home buyers dropped 5%. So that's the general demand to purchase homes. That's down 5%. Refinances went up 9%. What we're seeing, some of it is a holiday slowdown. Not as many people want to move or sell during the holidays. That's part of it. The other part of it is a creeping interest rate. Interest rates have more of an effect on housing prices than most people may think. We can get into that in more detail on another video, but don't be shocked to see housing prices and housing demand diminish if mortgage rates continue to rise. They do go hand in hand. I'm not predicting anything by making that statement. I'm simply educating you to be aware that those two items do correlate with one another. And you can see that in history, and it just makes mathematical sense. The higher the mortgage rate is, well, the less home someone can afford based on that mortgage payment. And of course, every lender must analyze someone's ability to repay, or what we call the ATR. Again, worthy of another video in the future, but keep that in mind when you're looking at the market, trying to decide if it's a good time to sell or a good time to buy. Don't leave out the cost of money. Money costs money. So to borrow money and at what rate can you borrow that money determines what your debt, that looming debt, is going to be. So if rates come back down in the future, well, you can anticipate that mortgage prices will influence housing prices, and that will probably continue to put upward pressure on housing. So housing, mortgage rates, they correlate. Let me know if you want more details on how that works. We can dive more into that on a future video. Have you been barbecuing this winter? Well, according to Weber, their stock price and their quarterly reports lost 13 cents from their projection. No surprise to me. I mean, people barbecue less in the winter. And remember, you and I watch the market. We analyze the market. And with inflationary prices impacting even meat, the cost of meat has essentially tripled in a lot of areas. And so people deciding when or if to barbecue, remember the cost of meat, just like the cost of money, will influence people's habits and willingness to pay more just to sit outside and barbecue their dinner. So I'm not surprised by Weber's 13-cent drop, and I don't think anybody else should be either. It's something that could have been anticipated, I think, in fairness. That is, if you're watching the market and taking into consideration those economic forces that would impact the grilling industry. Now, sometimes people just give you plenty of content to talk about. So we're going to talk about Elon Musk. Again, Elon Musk came out and said, civilization is going to crumble if people don't have more children. Yes, I guess if people stopped having children altogether, we would probably come to a standstill. Now, I'm not making fun of Elon Musk. This is a man that does a lot of research, or appears to, and I respect him with what he's accomplished. Perhaps this is a lead into the station wagon coming back. Will we see a Tesla station wagon? That way we can promote the idea of having more children. If we can give you EV vehicles to house them in while you're driving them around to soccer, karate, what do you think? Should they add that famous wood paneling to the side of the Tesla wagon? Well, there's been some people that actually produced or customized their Tesla S model and created these wagon style cars out of, I guess, their pure desire and love for the station wagon. In fact, Europe, you'll find that hatchbacks are much more popular in Europe overall than in the United States. Many models of cars are sold in Europe with hatchback versions that we don't even get to buy here in the United States. And that comes out of a lot of other cultural necessities and tight parking and things of that nature. But the S model in a wagon, I don't know. Let me know what you think if they should produce a station wagon. Especially, I think they should put that wood paneling on. I mean, let me know. Wood paneled Tesla wagon. I mean, interestingly enough, well, there's been some concepts drawn or produced with even the Mustang having a wood paneled side. And I don't know if that was meant to be a joke. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm sure some of you have seen that famous picture. Probably as bad of an idea as them producing an electronic SUV called the Mustang. I will share with you my favorite ad from back in the day. You can't beat this claim. For those of you that aren't familiar with Datsun, well, Datsun became Nissan sometime, I think, in the late 70s. I'm not sure. But Datsun made some classic 70s vehicles, and I love their ads. Some of them are very innovative. Hats off to you, Datsun. That's a great ad. Just to have a little fun, here's a few shots of some really innovative wagons that never went anywhere, but they're certainly fun to look at. We have talked about this before. It's something to keep in mind. Things spike up, like the Dow, moving 1,100 points in 2 days. That's significant. So expect something to give. Will it be flat the rest of the day? Will there be a piece of news that comes out that will cause it to go the other direction? Right now, things are a bit more volatile than we've seen in the recent past. So when things move drastically in one direction or the other, like mortgage rates last week moved down in our favor quite drastically, expect those to have that rubber band effect. Rubber band effect is something you can witness in the marketplace, and we can actually talk more on that in the future video as well. The rubber band effect, when something moves one way, well, there's tension to move it the other way, and you can watch that and observe on charts how that's actually happened. It's a little bit more visual if you start looking at charts a little bit more often. And don't forget, watch that futures, Dow futures, NASDAQ futures, even S&P 500 futures. If you have money or stocks that you own in those sectors, those are good to watch so that you can see what's happening prior to the market opening. Again, anything can change, but it gives you some insight if you're paying attention to futures. And then when the market opens, you're not surprised as to what's transpiring. So it's a great tool. Put them on your watch lists of your apps that you use to track your stocks, or, if you're looking at the Dow or something on an app, add the futures. FUT in a search will give you the futures of something like the Dow or NASDAQ. If you're looking to add that to your watch list, keep an eye on that. Remember, even as early as Sunday evening, you can start seeing what temperature is formulating in the equities market. Now, my taste tends to go a bit more nostalgically radical. If I was going to rock the wagon, it would look a bit more, well, it would have to look at least like this. I'm a fan of green, and gotta have a big motor so you can go fast and get to the soccer games quickly. So you're never late for that soccer game or bouncy house birthday party with the kids. My name's Jason Graneman. You've watched the Economic Market Weather Report, and I have been your lone slayer for the day. Remember, it's not work, it's a lifestyle. Cheers.